So today I'm going to be finally removing the bubble wrap from this tank. I think it's about warm enough weather now. It's a little bit cold on the night, but I think we should be fine. I want to keep it about 16 degrees. I think it should stay about that. What I might try and do is keep some bubble wrap outside just to keep a little bit of wind chill off outside the tank, but we'll see how we go. So it's been up since Christmas now, this, and it's done really well. It's been some really windy weather. And it stayed up quite fine. I've had to put some rope on it and ended up leaning things on it to try and hold it together, but it stayed up completely fine. I'm really pleased with it. I think the bubble wrap's a bit tired now, so I don't know what I'm going to be doing with that, but yeah, I'm really pleased with how it's kept it. Last week it was quite sunny and the water temperature got up to 19 degrees, which was quite surprising. The heater's not been on at all for the last sort of 6 weeks, 2 months, and it's kept at 16 to 18 degrees quite comfortably under there. It's every little bit of sunlight that gets on top of that really heats it up really quickly, and if you stick your head through this little sort of opening I've got just here, pull the brush apart, lift that up, you can see the fishes underneath. Hello fishies! Fishies! Come on fishies! There we go, don't want my camera getting splashed, but there we go, fishes are all still happy underneath there. Obviously I can't really see an awful lot what's going on, so it'd be nice to see what's going on at sort of the rest of the tank, and I might get the pump out and make sure it's still fine. So let's have a go at getting it off. So I wanted to do a bit of a voiceover for this section, but the video I initially wanted to voice over was quite boring. It was the bit with me taking the bubble wrap off, so I've included this video of me boating around on top of the main pond and feeding the fish. So hopefully that doesn't distract you too much, and let's talk about the bubble wrap. So the bubble wrap itself I found absolutely fantastic. I really liked the bubble wrap. So before I put the bubble wrap on, it was 8 degrees, the pond, and the 2 kilowatt heater was running constantly to keep that tank that warm. That's because, you know, it's very exposed, so if I hadn't had the heater on at all, it would have perfectly followed the air temperature, so when it dropped below freezing the tank would have probably frozen quite easily. So when I put the bubble wrap on, it initially jumped up to 12 degrees, and then I turned the heater down so that it just kept it at 12 degrees. Then it settled quite comfortably at 12, so I was quite pleased with that. And the heater was very rarely on. I think it was on for like an hour every night, something like that. At the sort of coldest part of the night, it just came on for an hour, or then came on in like 10-minute intervals. So it was great. It significantly reduced my electricity consumption on that pond, so the bubble wrap paid for itself very quickly. And then when we got into February, I increased the temperature from 12 to 14 degrees. Well, it came up to that on its own, so I brought the heater up a little bit to match it so it didn't drop on a night and stuff like that. And then by the end of February it was quite comfortably at 16 degrees and the heater was barely on at all. I think we had a little bit of a cold spot, and then the heater came on once or twice, and basically at that point after February it was coming on maybe once a week, something like that, just to keep, just when it was raining or something like that, it just kept the pond's temperature a little bit warmer. But any other time the sun warmed it up quite substantially. And then just before I took the bubble wrap off, it got quite sunny, and the bubble wrap was causing it to be incredibly hot underneath there. The water wasn't heating up too much. I think it most got to 19 degrees, but it was sort of incredibly hot underneath the bubble wrap. So it got to the point where the bubble wrap was kind of unnecessary anymore. So if you've got a pond that's sunk in the floor and you're thinking of heating it in winter to keep it at something like 12 degrees, maybe try just bubble wrapping it one season instead of buying a heater. Obviously it doesn't look amazing, but if you keep your pond at 12 degrees for free, pretty much without needing a heater, then you're a lot better off than most So I think any pond covered with bubble wrap like that would keep its heat incredibly well, and I'd be surprised if it dropped into the single figures, and if it did, it might be only for a week, whereas obviously if it's not covered at all, it could probably potentially drop into single figures for a good month. So I would highly recommend, if you can possibly cover your ponds with bubble wrap, that you do such things. And if you both cover it with bubble wrap and heat it, you will see a significant reduction in your electricity bills, as I did. So there we go, that's the cover off. Just a little bit more work to do. So I've got to take the ends off just to get them little bits out, and I've got to take that fan off. Obviously it's not needed anymore. That fan actually was a really good thing to have. Because obviously underneath there it got incredibly wet through with the warm water and cold air outside, and the fan just sort of kept air circulating pretty good. I never used it as a heater because it never snowed this winter, so never needed it. And even if it had snowed, I think the warmth of the water would have melted the snow quite easily, so never needed the heater. But the fan was pretty decent, I think, and it looks really good. The water quality is excellent. You can see the bottom really well. Can't see any fish yet, they're hiding from me. You can see the bottom really well. I don't know if the camera can. So the water quality is great. It needs a little bit topping up because it's supposed to be just above that window, and I say I'm really pleased with it actually. This frame's held up great. I think I might leave that on there for now, just because I ain't got anywhere to put it. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. I'm surprised it has stayed up sort of all winter like that. No, it's just a case of cleaning things up. I think I might, because I've got an electric cable here on the floor and a water pipe, I might actually sort of suspend them across, so they're not going across the patio, because it's a bit of a pain actually. And I'll finally be able to cut a bit of this grass. So yeah, I'll get on with that. So there we go, getting there. It just needs a slight bit of cleaning up, but I'll do that in a bit. What I've done is I've put that cable and water pipe over there so that I'm not stepping over it all the time, which were really annoying, surprisingly. So at least it's out my way up there. Quite pleased with that. Looks a bit better without all the covers on, but obviously it's still just a swimming pool thingy. The fish are happy, doing quite well. I've seen them up a little bit. One fish there, look. Catfishes! See if we can get them out. Catfishes! A little bit of food might interest them. Come on, fishies! Come on! Come on, fishies! They're not having it now. I think they missed the cover. The pond temperature is actually 18 degrees, so it's still quite warm. Hopefully it stays at that temperature. Obviously it does drop fairly cold on the night, so we'll see. Time will tell, I guess. Oh, a bit of encouragement. Come on, fishies! Come on! Come on, fishes! Yeah, there they are. Don't best stick food in. Not too lively, but getting there. Nice little fish in there. Quite a few fish. Not seen any dead ones or anything. Not seen no adverse yet. I've not had a right good look at Pump's down here somewhere. Somewhere down there, I'll figure it out. But I think we've done quite well. Yeah, they're happy enough. They've just got to get used to no cover on there. If you like this video, then please like it. If you want to see more videos like this, then please feel free to subscribe. And if you've got any questions or comments, then please put them down below. And I shall see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.